Nestle has been in Sri Lanka for over 100 years. We have been committed to enhancing the lives of the local community since the very beginning. We purchase hundreds of thousands of litres of milk from 18,000 farmers every day. Committed to increasing fresh milk production in Sri Lanka, we help local dairy farmers produce milk that meets our high-quality standards. Nestle, empowering Sri Lankan dairy farmers.
A very good evening and welcome. This is News First Weekend Primetime News here on MTV Sports and Shakti TV. I'm Ramesh Ilgal Bandara. As always, let's start off with a look at your headlines.
Dr. Chris Nonis confirms he was assaulted by the monitoring MP of the Ministry of External Affairs and that his resignation was accepted. There is a foreign conspiracy to topple the government under the guise of democracy. A statement from the President. JVP says the public remains unclear about the presidential election. Preschooler dies after a bunch of coconuts falls on his head. Water recedes in flood-affected areas. Rains expected in several areas of the island over the next few hours.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that there is a foreign conspiracy to topple the government under the guise of democracy. The president made this statement yesterday while addressing the Sri Lankan community in Italy.
President Rajapaksa, who is currently on a tour to Italy and the Vatican, met with Sri Lankans residing in Italy last afternoon.
Although the war is over, we have been forced to fight a new war. It is no secret to you that pro-LTTE supporters are receiving support from the international community for their narrow-minded agendas. Numerous problems have arisen due to foreign interference, which comes under the guise of securing democracy. If you take a look at the Middle East, all those countries which have had foreign interference are now facing massive crises. Leaders were killed and new leaders were appointed. The ISIS today is a huge worry to the entire world. The world is changing, governments are changing, regimes are changing. Some people want this to happen in Sri Lanka. They want to appoint their own puppet governments. However, it won't be that easy. If you take a look at websites today, they are slandering us openly. If I go to a hospital to visit a patient, I am the one who is suffering from an ailment, not the patient. What this implies is that when they run out of facts and slogans, the only politics they know is to sling mud, like they are doing now.
On to our top story tonight. Sri Lanka's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Dr. Chris Nonis, speaking exclusively to News First, confirmed that he was assaulted by the monitoring MP of the External Affairs Ministry and that his letter of resignation was accepted. However, speaking in an exclusive interview with News First yesterday, MP Sajin Devaskanwardana said that no such assault took place.
In the end, all I have to say is that I reject all of these allegations. An argument did break out between us. I will reveal all the information on this when I return to Sri Lanka in a few days. I have nothing to hide. I am a character that, as per my duty, treats everyone the same and holds them to the same laws and regulations. When I am wrong, I will stand straight and admit that I am wrong. I am not a person who is afraid of admitting a mistake.
Sri Lanka's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Dr. Chris Nonis, spoke to News First today and issued this statement.
As has already been widely reported in the media, I confirm that I was unlawfully assaulted by the monitoring MP in the Ministry of External Affairs in New York on September 24th. I met His Excellency the President and discussed this matter on the same day, and I submitted my resignation on the same day, the 24th, and returned to London that evening. My resignation was accepted yesterday. I must say that I very much and deeply appreciate the opportunity that was provided to me by His Excellency the President to serve our country and our people. And as I have said in my letter of resignation, that my unserving loyalty to His Excellency the President and his family will always remain. I feel I have performed to the best of my ability, and I am pleased that I've had the opportunity to serve the country and the people of Sri Lanka.
JVP Western Provincial Councillor K.D. Lalkantha says that the public remains unclear about the presidential election. Lalkantha made the statement while addressing the 12th annual conference of the Lanka Electricity Board Employees Union.
රටේ පවතින ප්‍රධාන මාතෘකාව තමයි ඊළඟ ජනාධිපතිවරණය. නොවැම්බර් මාසේ 19 එතකොට අවුරුදු 4ක් වෙනවා මේ නොවැම්බර් මාසේ 19ට. එතකොට ව්‍යවස්ථාවට අනුව පුළුවන්.
The current topic circulating around the country today is the next presidential election. Come the 19th of November, it will be 4 years. Now, according to the constitution, the incumbent president has the power to call for another presidential election if he wants after that date. Word has it that the elections commissioner will be notified on the 20th of November of a presidential election to be held at the beginning of January. The political sphere is functioning under this assumption. Why are they rushing to hold a presidential election when there are 2 more years in his term? What is this sudden political interest? If they got a good result from the recently concluded elections in the south-west Nuba, they wouldn't even consider reducing electricity tariffs by 25%. The tariffs were reduced by the people who spoke against this path the government is taking. Now the country is doubtful about the fact whether the president can or cannot contest for a 3rd term. According to the constitution, there is no legal provision which would allow the president to contest for a 3rd term. The elections commissioner has to reject the nominations. There is also a rumor that Chandrika Kumaratunga might come forward as a candidate. Even if she does not have that right, neither does she have the ethical right to do so. She is a person who said she would abolish the executive presidency, although she didn't.
චන්ද්‍රිකා කුමාරතුංග මැතිණිය එයත් ජනාධිපති අපේක්ෂකෙක් කැඩේ ඉදිරිපත් වෙන කතාවක් ඉඳලා ඒවත් යනවනේ. එයාටත් ඉල්ලන්න බෑ. එයාට එන්න සදාචාරමය අයිතියකුත් නැහැ. එයා මේක අහෝසි කරනවා කියලා ඇවිල්ලා අහෝසි නොකරපු කෙනෙක්නේ.
Whether or not the president can contest for a 3rd term in office has become a hotly debated topic in the recent days. 2 seminars were held in Colombo on this topic in the past few days. One faction states that the president could contest for a 3rd term, while the other states that he cannot contest.
ජනාධිපතිවරයාට 3 වරක් ඉල්ලන්න එහෙම නැත්නම් 3 වෙනි දූර කාලයක් සඳහා
Whether the president can contest for a 3rd term in office and whether there is a legal provision for it are questions that have become intertwined. If he cannot contest, then he should rectify it through parliament, else he should not contest. You cannot hold a presidential election in the brief time period between the time when the 4th year of his term is fulfilled and the arrival of the Pope. If the arrival of the Pope is important for the country, then the election should be held after the arrival of the Pope.
පාප් වහන්සේ එන එක වැදගත් නම් පාප් වහන්සේ ආවට පස්සේ ජනාධිපතිවරණය තියන්න පුළුවන්.
එවරක් ඡන්දයකින් තේරුම්පත් වූ අයෙකුට ජනාධිපතිවරයෙකු ලෙස තේරීපත් වූ අයෙකුට නැවතවරක් ඡන්දයක් එම ඡන්දයකට
There is no law which states that an individual who was elected on 2 occasions could not contest once again. If that is the case, then how can we enact a law which is not there? We can say without a doubt that Mahinda Rajapaksa can contest once again in accordance with the law. He can contest in any presidential election which will be held in the future.
දී ඡන්දයක් ඉල්ලන්න පුළුවන් කියලා.
එකක් අපි කොළඹ කියනවා 3 වෙනි වර ඉල්ලන්න බෑ. එහෙම ඉල්ලන්න
We can clearly state one point. He cannot contest for a third term in office. If he still insists on contesting, then we will defeat you. Not politically, but by abolishing the executive presidency. There is no alternative but to create a parliamentary system with an executive prime minister. You cannot give temporary solutions when creating such a system.
The time has come once again to begin the battle between patriots and traitors. Just like leeches awaken when it rains, the time has come once again because there are talks of a presidential election. They failed in every aspect. Now they are trying to use the law to their favor. We provided them with the necessary answers today. We need to say that he can contest for the election and that he can win the election as well.
I propose that we field a common candidate with everyone's consent for the election. Today's shamelessness is greater than even the presidency. They can commit any wrong act because they are shameless. We should change this.
There is no legal barrier. Who is appointing him? Isn't it the people? Don't the people have a right to send him home through the election if they don't want him? If the people consent, then he can contest for even 5 times. In my opinion, there is nothing wrong with him contesting. Democracy is a relative term.
අපි කිසිම කෙනෙකුට ඕනේ නැති මැතිවරණයක්. සම්කිසි වගන්තියක් අතීතයට ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන බව.
The upcoming elections is not something any of us want. If it does not clearly say that a legal term does not affect the past, then it would only affect the future. The issue with the 18th Amendment is that there is no clear law in this regard. Since the 18th Amendment is ambiguous on this, then it is clear that the president that was elected in 2010 cannot call for an election seeking a third term in office. This is my opinion. This is an election that no one wants. Only a few people want this election to take place.
මගේ මතය කෙසේ වෙතත් මේක අපි කාටවත් ඕනේ නැති ඡන්දයක්. මේ ඡන්දය ඕනේ කීප දෙනෙකුට විතරයි.
Minister of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Development Rajitha Senaratne says that the country loses intelligent leaders due to party crossovers. The minister made the statement at an event to declare open a new fisheries corporation fish market in Horana.
අපි මේ පිළ වරද්ද ගන්න නරකයි. මම මේ ගමන නොපරදී ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන දීර්ඝ කාලිනව මං කාටවත් පක්කල.
You should not make a mistake on the political party you choose. I have come a long way to where I am right now. I did not become a slave to anyone. I did not bend over to get to where I am. We have taken a decision as to which party we will fight for in this battle. We saw what happened when people like NM and Colville crossed over. We saw the parliament lose some great leaders. In 1997, the vacant seats in parliament were later filled with empty people.
ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨ කීර්තිමත් මිනිස්සු ටිකක් අපිට පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ නැති වෙනවා අපි දැක්කා. ඒ නැති වෙන මිනිස්සු පිරුණේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ හිස් මිනිස්සුන්ගේ 77.
A tragic incident where a preschooler died in the Potuharava area in Kurunegala was reported to Newsfirst today. According to the police, the cause of death was an impact to the head caused by a falling bunch of coconuts. The police also noted that another child was sustained injuries in the incident.
The incident occurred at a preschool in the Tirugama area last morning.
The children were playing in a group. Later I told them to return to class at around 10:30. My grandmother and I were there. It was after I told them it was alright to play a bit more that the bunch of coconuts fell on them.
Little Oshan Edri Singh and another child who were injured in incident were admitted to the Kurunegala Teaching Hospital. Oshan, who was in a critical condition, was transferred to the National Hospital for further treatment. However, despite the best efforts of the doctors, little Oshan passed away.
He told me he didn't want to go to school and that he wanted to go into the field with me. He likes vehicles. That is why I have parked a tractor at home. I told him that I will take him to the field after school. Then he told me to start the tractor and take him around the garden. It is after that he got ready to go to school. Then this happened.
සිවිල් සමාජ විදියටත් නිලධාරීන් විදියටත් මරණ පරීක්ෂක විදියට මට
As a citizen, as an officer and as a coroner, I can say that such threats exist, and in retrospect it is a responsibility of the parents, management and Pradesh Sabha to inspect these surroundings and ensure that such tragic deaths never occur again. It is our responsibility.
මේ චූටි දුවා දරුවා භාජනය වීම වැළැක්වීම අප සතු යුතුයකමක් වගේම වගකීමක් වෙනවා.
Newsfirst inquired from the officials as to what steps have been taken to ensure the safety of preschoolers.
අපිට තාම නීතිමය බැඳීමක් මේ පිළිබඳ නැහැ මොකද මේක ස්වභාවික
We do not have a proper legal procedure to address such an incident because this is due to natural cause. It is not only in this province, but there are preschools which are operating without licenses across the country without our knowledge. The preschool in which the incident took place is not registered. Such education institutes will not be able to run until a bill is drafted and is approved through the Western Provincial Council. This will take about 6 months.
සම්මත කරන් පස්සේ වයම් පළාත් සභාව තුල ළමත මෙවැනි පෙර පාසල් පවත්වාගෙන යාමට හැකියාවක් ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ.
We also made inquiries in this regard from the Ministry of Child Development and Women's Affairs.
Are there any safety standards that must be followed when running a preschool?
The safety of the children is our primary concern. For example, if there is a well constructed in the premises of a preschool, it should be covered at all times. If there are any hazardous materials in the environment, then it should be removed. The responsibility of creating preschools is vested with the provincial councils.
But Minister, if you attempt to divert the responsibility by stating that it is vested with the provincial council, then it could lead to a situation where there is no monitoring mechanism in place. Won't this lead to more accidents of this nature? Shouldn't the subject ministry and the provincial councils work together to create a system?
We are hoping to hold discussions and create a policy by gathering ideas in the future. The Department of Meteorology says that several areas of the island may receive showers over the next few hours. The department requests the general public to remain vigilant of lightning-related accidents. Meanwhile, water levels in areas which were submerged due to heavy showers are receding.
The heavy showers experienced in Hittati area and its surroundings in Matra inundated over 350 houses and affected 950 families. When Newsfirst contacted the Matra District Disaster Management Centre this evening, they said that the water levels in these areas which were submerged are receding.
There is no point in digging drains. A system should be created for the water to recede.
The Disaster Management Centre said that the water has no way of receding as the canals in the area are blocked. According to a correspondent, the Matra Municipal Council engaged in efforts to clean up the blocked drainage system. A very good evening and welcome to Weather First. The Met Department says that showers or thundershowers may develop in several locations across the island, including the central, Sabragamo, as well as the Uva and north central parts of the island. Showers may also spread towards the western as well as the northwestern coastal regions as well. Localized strong winds may develop as a result of these thundershowers. Furthermore, the Met Department states that seas may be rough at times owing to the inclement weather condition.
And up next is a look at Action TV.
Individuals in the area surrounding the Velasi village that falls under the Putlam Divisional Secretary has been provided with new trade opportunities. This new trade opportunity is the sale of a barrel of water for a sum of 600 rupees to the locals in the Velasi village. The 75 families that live in this village have been compelled to purchase water for their drinking and other purposes. These people are those who have no permanent means of employment and solely depend on the wages they receive by performing day labour. Among these 75 families are families that have been internally displaced as a result of the reclamation of land undertaken by the government for various needs. The others who have no land to their names have been settled in the Velasi village by land register officers. Each family has been provided with half an acre of land as a result.
You cannot travel on the road. Whenever there is a slight drizzle, no one can set foot on the road because it gets muddy. We have to carry our children to the top of the road for them to go to school. Or we have to carry another bucket of water to wash their feet and shoes when they walk on the road. We don't have water at all. It was the same even during the drought. If we dig a well, all we get is salt water.
An electricity cable system runs parallel to the village. Therefore, electricity to the Velasi village can be easily provided. However, some of the houses are not in a position to receive electricity. The answer authorities and officials provide the locals of the Velasi village, citing that electricity will be provided to the whole village once all houses are in a position to be provided with electricity, are somewhat humorous.
All we ask for is water, a proper road and electricity. We ask for nothing else. All this says everything will be provided. Yet for the past 3 years, the only thing that we received is water.
Some of the persons in this village have also made their contribution to the development of the country. However, when one takes into account their poverty level, what actually needs to be done for them is to at least provide them with government housing aid. Yet, these people have been deprived of their basic infrastructure facilities. Is it because of the inability of the local government authority and its officials to fulfill these responsibilities, or is it their negligence? Chairman of the District Development Committee of the Putlam District, this is over to you.
On a lighter note, the Sirius FM 3-wheel carnival took place in Ratnapura today. The initiative was organized by Sirius FM for the 3-wheel drivers in the Sabaragamu province and their children.
The Sirius FM 3-wheel carnival kicked off in grand fashion this morning at the Hidayalana Navanagara grounds in Ratnapura. Senior officials from the MTV MBC network were present at the event. This journey that we started from here on will continue till March next year until the next Sirius anniversary. This is a promise. Through this, we at Sirius FM hope to promote and create law-abiding 3-wheel drivers and hope to create a community which can work together, a more secure community, a life without accidents. This program also aims to make them healthier and financially secure. The Sirius FM 3-wheel carnival comprises of a number of competitions created especially for the 3-wheel drivers in Sabaragamu. Among these competitions are Best Singer, Most Colourful 3-wheeler, racing events and Mr. Handsome. The carnival also includes many entertainment items that can be enjoyed by the whole family. 3-wheeler drivers also roped in spectators by showing off their talents while taking part in the competitions. The winners were presented with cash prizes and special awards. Incidentally, these 3-wheeler drivers were also given the opportunity to register with Newsfirst U-Report, our citizens' journalism initiative. Voice tests for the Samanala Sirasa program were also conducted at the event. The Sirius FM Maldahasak band added colour to the event.
Staying in more local news, leader of the National Unity Front Azad Salih has notified the Inspector General of Police that there is a threat to his life and that suspicions have arisen that it is the police itself that are behind these threats. In a letter addressed to the IGP, Azad Salih says that if any harm occurs to him, it is the police and the government that has to accept responsibility for it.
Azad Salih alleges that police are constantly on the lookout at locations where he conducts programs and at the Dautagaha Mosque. In the letter addressed to the IGP, Azad Salih also states that during a program in the Alutgama area, he had questioned and sent away police officers who were present at the location, and that on another instance, he noticed police officers loitering around the area where he met with the American ambassador to Sri Lanka in Kandy. The letter further reads that the threat to his life is much greater due to the fact that he is not allowed to renew the license for his firearm, which was granted for his personal security, and because there is an obstacle to obtaining private security.
The Colombo branch of the Jaffna Hindu College Past Pupils Association organized a Vijay Dasami Vila Puja in Colombo yesterday.
The puja was held at the Saraswati Hall in Bambalapitiya. Thereafter, debate was worked off amongst the students of the Jaffna Hindu College. The debate was judged by the Deputy Chairman of the Jaffna Hindu College Past Pupils Association, Colombo branch, and the General Secretary of the Citizens Front, MP J. Sri Lanka.
There is a scarcity of those with the political knowledge in the north. The reason is because everyone with that knowledge has flown overseas.
The topic of the debate was, is civil society responsible for the current situation in the north, or is it the youth and Tamil diaspora?
There is an ideology rising in the north that this sort of cultural landslide should be stopped. A society which has no idea of what is happening around it, and the fact that civil society and the elders in our community are responsible for it, is a timely topic. I appreciate it.
A program was launched in Colombo today to improve the English language skills of students in the Colombo district. The program is an initiative of Western Provincial Councillor Janta De Silva.
The first program commenced in Dharmashrama Vihara on baseline Mawata in Buralla.
Today there is an opinion that there are no jobs and that there is no reason for children to study. They say that there are no jobs. This is a completely wrong idea. There are plenty of jobs. However, you need to have a knowledge of English. After you complete this program, we will provide each one with a scholarship through Pragnya Pradeepa.
Big onion farmers in Anuradhapura and Mathale have been unable to sell their produce and are facing many hardships. Our correspondent in the area stated that the current weather situation has also affected them adversely.
Farmers who were faced with hardships due to the drought began cultivating big onions as an alternative to their usual crops. Our correspondent in the area noted that even though harvesting of big onions commenced a few weeks ago, they have been unable to sell their produce at a price that would cover the cost of production. Even though the date to harvest onions has passed, farmers are reluctant to harvest their crops because they have not received a suitable price for their produce.
They are asking us to sell for 30 or 35 rupees. There is no point in harvesting if this is the situation. There is no point giving it for this price. We have to sell it for 40 rupees per kilogram if we are to cover the cost we incurred. If we sell it less than this, then all our hard work will be pointless.
As a result, onion farmers have resorted to storing their harvest at homes.
Just like they gave a certified rate for potato farmers, we are requesting similar assistance for onion farmers like us.
However, the farmers were unaware that the government announced a certified price for potatoes and onions for the Yala season.
The government has announced a certified price of 60 rupees for big onions. However, farmers in Thamma and Nagama are selling their produce for a mere 25 rupees. Let us see the reason behind this.
The best price given by the merchants is 25 to 35 rupees. They won't buy it for a higher rate. A farmer who cultivated 1 acre has incurred a cost of 200,000 rupees. You cannot give big onions at this price. If we say that they are Indian seeds, then they go away.
So are these onions grown from local seeds?
They gave us onion seeds, telling us that they were Sri Lankan seeds when in fact they were Indian. Indian seeds were sold for 12,500 rupees.
Does this mean that the farmers have been tricked?
Yes, we were duped. We can only find the difference when they have grown.
We pawned all our jewelry and now we have no way to recover them. Now that the rainy season has arrived, we cannot store our produce for more than 2 to 3 days. They get spoilt. Why isn't anyone looking into what we are going through?
Because it was the UVA election, they came here distributing 5 kilograms of free potatoes and gave the people money. Can't they take our onion and distribute it amongst the people of UVA in the same manner?
The German National Day, or the Day of German Unity, was celebrated in Colombo last evening. The event also marked the 25th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall, which will be celebrated on the 9th of November.
Senior Minister of Human Resources D.E.W. Gunasekara was the chief guest at the event, which was graced by many dignitaries and diplomats.
Last year, together with you, we were looking back to 60 years of diplomatic relations between Sri Lanka and Germany. The bonds of friendship keep growing. It's not the bonds or progress between governments that are unifying fabric of our friendship. No, it's the human factor why so many Germans fall in love with Sri Lanka.
The German government continues to assist us with a regular program of development assistance for rehabilitation, reconstruction, poverty alleviation and community empowerment. Germany is home to a significant Sri Lankan diaspora. I believe over 60,000 Sri Lankans have settled down in Germany over the years and contribute to its economy.
And finally, in sports news, the 17th Asian Games in Incheon, South Korea concluded today with China named the overall champions after clinching a total of 151 gold medals.
The closing ceremony of the 17th Asian Games, which witnessed the participation of nearly 14,000 athletes compete, was held under the auspices of South Korean Prime Minister Jung Hon-won. While China won 151 gold medals to claim the top spot on the medal tally, South Korea and Japan were placed second and third respectively. Sri Lanka, who were placed 27th, were unable to clinch any medal in the track and field events. However, Sri Lanka won the gold medal in the men's cricket event, while the Sri Lanka women's cricket team won bronze in the women's cricket event. Chairman of the Asian Olympic Committee, Sheikh Ahmad Al-Shahad Al-Sabbar, handed over the Asian Games torch and flag to the Indonesian delegation, the host nation of the 2018 Asian Games.
Well, that's a wrap of Weekend Primetime News for tonight. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Ramesh Irugarbandara. Good night.